One of my most invaluable tools that I've ever had out here at the farm, and I wish I had bought this piece of equipment from the very start, because the first couple of years we didn't have a little pallet forklift system. And I bought this attachment online, and it was shipped right to my clinic, and I was able to pick it up. But I will tell you that as far as a piece of equipment, we use these forks because they're just awesome. You can haul water, you can pick the water tanks up with them, you can put the pallet on there and you can haul things on the pallets. They pick logs and stuff up. They're just awesome, and we use it every day, constantly. I'm getting ready to take this water jug out. I've got in the winter time, if we don't get a lot of rain or a lot of precipitation, we run out of water. Since I have the irrigation water collection system on the rabbit barn, and we've got all that going, we don't have to haul water a lot, but we're running a little bit low right now, and so we've had to haul a couple of things of water out to the farm. If we get a good rain, it'll fill all 7 or 8 of them up pretty quick. But we've not had a lot of good precipitation here in the last month. It's kind of dry for winter right now. But anyway, I'll show you how that works. You're probably asking why I don't fill the water tank all the way up, and the simple answer is my tractor can't handle it. When you got it completely full of 275 gallons of water, well, a gallon of water is 8 pounds. So 200 times 8 is 1,600 pounds. And if you get it up to 275 pounds, you're well over 2,000 pounds. And unfortunately, my tractor, even though the boom will pick it up, it's not got enough weight in the back end to steer it, and it flattens my tires out. So I can only handle when it's about 3/4 full. But that will last the horses a week or more. As most of you know, I don't have a hay barn, not yet. That's in my future plans, is to build a barn to store my hay and things of that nature. So I have it tarped, and I've showed you pictures of that, and I'll show you another picture of my tarped hay right here, okay? And those agricultural tarps have worked very well for, you know, for our little operation, but they have a drawback. You get a bad windstorm and you can come out and it be completely uncovered. We've tried a lot of different techniques of holding it down and keeping it in place, and for the most part, 90% of the time, it's fine. But we've had some 50, 60 mile an hour winds come through, and on the very far end where we have a shorter tarp, we've had a hard time keeping about 60 bales covered. And so the sequela of not being able to keep those bales dry is this disaster that's behind me. This is some of the worst moldy hay, and that's what happens when you have a lot of wet. It just molds, it rots. And if you can see the mold spores and the dust and stuff that comes off of it. Never feed this kind of hay to your animals. Don't do it. Sheep and goats are bad about a disease called listeriosis. I guarantee you it's growing in this right here. It's a good way to end up with brain abscesses. And mold itself produces a lot of toxins. You could just run into a lot of trouble feeding your horses, your sheep, your goats, anybody. Botulism, I mean, you could just list them. Feeding moldy hay like this is a huge no-no. And truthfully, unless your sheep are like starving, they're not going to eat it anyway. So I hate that it got wet. I hate that it's ruined. We baled all that up, and we don't have that to feed to our livestock. But loss is to be predicted, and it's not a dead resource. And maybe that's something that you know, you have to consider on your farm. This moldy hay is not an end resource. It's not over. This has a lot of uses, a lot of functions. And so for me, I'm putting it out on the side of a mountain in some weedy places that right now are not being grazed, but the ground isn't the best in the world. So as it rots, it will do a couple of things. The first one is it helps with erosion control. Number two, a lot of worms, a lot of grubs, a lot of things like that will find a home there. And as they break that down, my turkeys will then go over and they will scratch it and they will dig up those worms and those grubs and they will eat them. And so you kind of get free turkey food, free erosion control, better, you know, soil management. So there's a lot of uses for it, even though it rotted and I'm not going to be able to sell it and I can't feed it to its original tents. It's not a resource that you should just discard without thinking about it. It still has, even though it's rotted, it still has function. And so for me, I'm using it right now to help upgrade some soil and also for future turkey scratch and feed. And maybe I could show you scratching at them sometime. But they love this kind of stuff because that's where the bugs begin to grow. But I wanted to share that with you. I'm going to take this up here and dump it on the mountain.